an interesting question indeed. Most times, people do ask if God created everything. Who created God? And there are lots of evidences in the Bible that proves that God existed before all things. One of it is John chapter 1, verse 1. It says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word here is the eternal Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And it says, the same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, all things. And without him was not anything made that was made. Get the phrase. He said, without him was not anything made that was made. And that only confirms the previous line. All things were made by him. All things, not some things outside. So that alone shows that God was exempt from that bracket, all things. If he made all things, he's not within the classification of that phrase, all things. And then that means he was not made by anything. And that only confirms the truth that God existed before all things. The same goes in Colossians, just to read that. Speaking about Christ, it says, "Who Christ is the image of the invisible God," Colossians 1:15, "the firstborn of every creature." It says, "For by him were all things created, that are in heaven, that are on earth, both visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him. And he is before all things, and by him all things consist." So, if he is before all things, and when the Bible says all things, it means all things. The Bible means all things. So there's nothing outside that classification other than God. So he existed before all things.